My Red Guard helmet tutorial just passed 100,000 views, so today I'm making an electro chain whip! Ah! Oh, that's why they wear the gloves. For this build, I use PVC pipe, PVC cutter, an Estes rocket nose cone, rope, craft foam, hot glue, super glue, black, red, and silver paint, safety gear, sanding implements, scissors, razor pens, and a box cutter. Nice. First I cut 3 segments of 1/2-inch PVC, each measuring 15 inches long. Then I cut 9 more segments measuring 4 inches each. Then I superglued the segments together into bundles of 3. When they had dried, I sanded the ends so that they'd be flush with each other. I 3D printed the grip parts in a promotional video for Neva, but you can get that ribbed texture by cutting small rings of 1/2-inch PVC and then gluing them individually to any cylindrical core. Although I'd wait a little bit if I were you, because the reference images of the screen used prop that's on display are a little bit different from the texturing on other reference images that I've seen. So I don't know if that's an issue where the stunt version is different from the show version, or maybe the texturing is different for the action figure and that's what a lot of people are going off of. But I don't know, it's something to think about. Oh, also you can make the point out of an Estes nose cone. Once they were complete, I set up all the pieces in this overly complicated paint rig and then went outside to paint them with automotive chrome spray paint, which I think is the shiniest paint that you can get, at least out of a rattle can, but it does take about a week to fully dry. So in the meantime, let's do a Patreon plug. So I wanted to make this prop immediately after I saw the movie, but it got delayed until now because there's nowhere near a living wage behind these videos in terms of funding. So my entire build schedule's been thrown out of whack. I was supposed to have a helmet tutorial out by now. There are 6 unfinished test films that have been unfinished since 2016. You know, this one requires saber blade work, that one requires a robot, and YouTube doesn't feel that I deserve to be paid for my work. Now don't get me wrong, I'm incredibly appreciative of these people. What am I, a weatherman? I don't know where things are gonna be. Just point here and then I'll put it here. Come on. You're the same person. Because of them, I could afford the additional rope, paint, and PVC for this build. But wouldn't it be incredible if the prop actually lit up like in the movie? Or if I could film a fight scene with a Rey cosplayer and a full suit of red armor? If 1% of the people watching right now decide to support me on Patreon, then I could do all that. I could take more of your suggestions too. It's not like I look at these suggestions and go, well, I could build this prop, but I won't. Although I guess that begs the question, how did I have the money for the hot tub scene? I know some people. And yeah, I realize that these Patreon plugs can get annoying if you can't support me, but if I say nothing and there's no tutorials for a while, then people get the impression that I'm just ignoring them or being lazy, and that's not, it's time, money, bills, groceries. I'm not skinny because I work out. Anyway, thanks to everyone who's already supporting me. Now let's get back to the build. For the hilt, I cut an 11-inch section of 1 1/4 inch PVC. Okay, here's what I don't get, and it's something that I brought up in previous videos. This is Charlotte pipe, and it says on the pipe that it's 1 1/4 inch, but the actual outside diameter is 1 5/8, and the inside is something like 1 3/8. And this is why I don't like saying the pipe dimensions in the videos, because it creates more confusion than it subdues. It'd be easier just to get what looks right. The handle has this standard Star Wars oval texture that's on many of the guns and hallways in the movie. So in an attempt to make all the ovals the same size, I made a stencil and covered the pipe in 6 alternating rows of ovals. This was not an easy process for me, as you may be able to tell. I cut all the straight lines with my rotary tool and a narrow rotary bit. You absolutely need to wear eye protection and a respirator while doing this. I thought that I could get away with wearing my prescription safety glasses, and somehow a piece of melted PVC found its way around the lens and onto my eyelid, where it solidified and had to be peeled away, which was so much fun for me. So I switched to chemistry goggles, which are like a complete seal. Then I drilled pilot holes with my driver and widened them with my screwdriver. Beautiful. Some of those inside pieces broke off while I was drilling, but the rest had to be removed with a penknife. Once that was finished, I used a different rotary tool bit to smooth out some of those terrible rough edges. I did a base coat of flat black spray paint. This revealed a few flaws, so I gave it some more work with the rotary tool and then hit it with a second coat. Be careful if you paint this outside in populated areas, because with the black base coat, it kind of looks like a machine gun heat cowling. While that dried, I worked on the pommel and the cross guard? It's really more of a Suba. It's a space weapon. The pommel and the Suba are the same shape anyway. I cut a stencil so they'd be identical. I cut these details and glued them to the craft foam. Then I hit them with Plastidip. Black would have been better, but gray was all I had. The following day, I glued the handle parts together and spray painted the hilt red. I guess I didn't leave enough time for the black to dry because the red ended up lifting. So I sanded it away and repainted it with red acrylic. Then I connected all the blade segments with red rope. I did this by cutting a segment more than twice as long as the blade, because you have to have room for the segments to bend when they're not connected, and I threaded that through each pipe segment with the middle being at the bottom end, and I cut another segment just slightly longer than 1 times the blade's length, glued it into the tip like the rest, and then tied it to the other segment at the base. Then I slid the longest silver pipes into the hilt. I didn't use too much glue on this because it was already a tight fit. And that's it. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to check out any of the others that I've made over the years. Am I up to 300? Oh my god. Somebody tell me if I'm up to 300. And if you want some William Jakespeare merch, then you can head on over to the Etsy store, link below, where I sell custom props, including kyber crystals. And let me know in comments what your favorite Praetorian guard weapon is, because I'm curious. Jake out! Alright, lunch!